Page 52, Fantaisie Impromptu. In this piece, we get a sharp and a flat both. That can happen. I will mention, though, that when you do get a sharp or flat in the music, it can only apply to one note at a time, for the most part. So I can't have two notes together, say together here. I can't use one sharp or one flat to apply to both notes. They can only apply to one or the other, and it depends on which one it's in front of. And sometimes you have to look very carefully to see, is it in front of one note or the other, because sometimes it gets packed in there. Let's talk this Fantaisie Impromptu. It's by a famous composer from the 1800s, Chopin. He specialized in piano music. He wrote a few things for other things, but it was mostly piano music is what he's known for. And this is a melody from one of his pieces. This is 4 lines long, treble and bass clef, 4/4 time signature. There's no sharps or flats except for a few accidentals stuck in there. We'll deal with that. We got quarter notes and whole notes and half notes. We can deal with that. You got a chord at the bottom. It's just a C chord in the left hand. If you learn to recognize the chords, you just think of it as one thing. It's a C chord. Okay, we can do that. Otherwise, you got to stop and figure out what each note is. Ugh. Now again, it's playing one hand or the other for the most part, so I'm going to take both hands at the same time, and we're still in middle C position. And you think, how do you know that? Well, because the music, you just look at the music, it tells you that. At the beginning, it's 4th finger on the G, that puts the left hand here. And in the next measure, it's thumb on middle C here for the right hand, so that puts you in middle C position. That's how I know that. So it begins 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Isn't this fun? Let's go down to the 3rd line here. Now it's a B flat. Instead of a B, it's a B flat. You set. That, and then in the last line we have the F sharp. Now here they're telling you to move down. They want thumb on the G, so you got to move down here. So we're moving the left hand, so we can do that. So we can get the F sharp and the C chord later on. So we're moving the left hand. When do you move the left hand? How does this work? Well, in this case you have rests. Measures before, 2 measures of rest, and 1 beat of rest. Anytime during that period, you can move the left hand down. It's up to you. There's no rule says you got to move it at this time or that time. I generally move it when I realize I need to move it, and I'm always looking ahead in the music out of a habit. You'll do it too. Everybody does. So whenever I notice that, oh, I got to come down here, that's when I'll move it. So sometime when I'm playing these half notes, or when I'm looking ahead to see what's coming, I see the left hand's down there. So then I'm already here, ready to go. So sometime in there, you just move the hand down while you're playing the right hand notes. Then the last measure, that's the C chord and the C, all 4 notes at once. So once you get the notes okay and the rhythm okay and there's no hesitations or anything, then you can try the articulation, and that's the phrasing. In this case, the musical sentence. That's one musical thought, so that's one musical sentence. And then the last 2 lines is another one. That's another musical sentence, so you'd connect that. So at the end of the 2nd line, you're here. Before you play the first note in the 3rd line here, you lift up. Just a little lift, and it's like taking a breath, a little bit of silence. Otherwise, you're connecting all the notes. And once you have that okay, you can think about the dynamics. They only give you 1 at the beginning, and that's MP, mezzo piano, for moderately soft. This is a gentle piece. Whatever you think moderately soft is. It's on the soft side of the middle somewhere. And then finally the speed, andante. Andante is not slow. Some people say andante is slow. Andante is just kind of a leisure pace. It's slower than moderato, but it's just kind of a leisure pace. Think of strolling down the sidewalk somewhere or something. And that's the feel of the piece. It's not the beat. Well, here we got whole notes and half notes. They're going to want to speed it up a little bit. And then the quarter notes want to slow it down a little bit. So it's got to be somewhere in there because it all has to be at one speed. So here, you think, well, that's pretty fast for the quarter notes. The problem is the half notes or the whole notes. If you play the quarter notes, then these whole notes are going to last forever. And that just drags it. So you got to speed it up a little bit for those, but not too fast because we don't want the quarter notes to go too fast. You can find recordings of Fantaisie Impromptu. It's a piano solo. There's orchestra recordings too. This melody is in the middle of it because it has a real fast first part and a real fast last part, and in the middle is this melody. I will mention at the end, that is not all melody. The left-hand chord, that's background. We want to hear it here. So play this as soft as you can. So don't play it the same. Otherwise the chord drowns it out. And don't play this note louder so it stands out. You play this note where it belongs, and you learn to play very light, very little weight. Stay relaxed. Let's play this together. I'll give us 4 counts. Just checking notes and rhythms and all. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 4, 2. 3, 4, tie, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.